Good evening and welcome to the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. North and South Korea have fired a number of missiles into waters near each other's coasts in a marked escalation of hostilities. The North launched its most missiles in a single day, at least 23, including one that landed less than 60 kilometers off the south city of Sokcho. Seoul responded with warplanes firing 3 air-to-ground missiles over the disputed maritime demarcation line. The North says the launches are in response to large-scale military exercises currently being held by South Korea and the United States, which it calls aggressive and provocative. On Tuesday, Pyongyang warned they would pay what it called the most horrible price in history if they continued their drills, seen as a veiled threat to use nuclear weapons. Days after Russia suspended support for grain exports through the Black Sea, it has agreed with Turkey to restart its participation in the agreement. Russia accused Ukraine on Saturday of using a safety corridor for grain ships to attack its fleet in Crimea. However, the UN, Turkey and Ukraine continued sending ships even after Russia halted its support for the deal. Here, the Turkish president receiving the news while speaking in parliament that Russia had agreed to continue to participate in the agreement. Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu had informed his Turkish counterpart that the deal will resume. The former Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is on the brink of a dramatic comeback after results showed he was on course to win a majority in parliament. With 84% of votes from the general election counted, Mr. Netanyahu's bloc is set to win 65 out of 120 seats. We are close to a big victory, he told jubilant supporters in Jerusalem. However, he will be dependent on the support of the ultra-nationalist religious Zionism party, which has gained notoriety for using anti-Arab rhetoric and advocating the deportation of disloyal Arab politicians or civilians. Meanwhile, Denmark's centre-left has secured the most votes in a general election, widely seen as a confidence vote in the country's leader. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen's Red Bloc of parties has secured the required 90 seats to form a government. Her Social Democrats party unexpectedly gained 2 seats and secured its best result in 2 decades. But she wants to form a broader coalition and has handed in the government's resignation to the Queen. The UK Prime Minister has reversed an earlier decision not to go to the COP27 climate summit in Egypt.
The climate crisis.
It's climate change.
Green, renewable energy.
From financing the transition to clean energy to protecting the world's forests and future-proofing its cities, there's a lot to discuss when the COP27 summit kicks off in Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh. Rishi Sunak had said he was too busy preparing for the November budget to attend the event, which opens on Sunday. But this had been widely criticised by climate campaigners and opposition parties, and he now says he will now attend. And Britain's Prince William has attended the 10th annual Tusk Conservation Awards. The Prince of Wales, who is a patron of Tusk and helped to launch the awards in 2013, presented Nedi Mulimo with the Tusk Wildlife Ranger Award and Migek Goncalves with the Tusk Award for Conservation in Africa. During the ceremony held at Hampton Court Palace, William underlined the importance of conservation work in Africa among turbulent times and how critical it is to protect the world we live in for future generations.
We must remain focused on investing in nature and the environment, protecting it for future generations. We must not pass on the baton to our children and grandchildren, apologising for our lack of collective action. Instead, we must do all we can to support those who support our natural world, often at great risk to themselves.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.